Hello everybody and welcome back to Asagao Academy. When last we left off, Hana was searching through the Hidden Block Club's I can't see that right. The Hidden Block Club's club room for any sign that maybe the Hidden Block Club is behind the theft of the boots. But she's searching through the desks and most were empty, but... What the hell is a gun doing in here? Oh damn! Slaughter was written in sparkling silver Sharpie on the side. Oh, I'm gonna die in here. I just am. Leaving the desk behind, I crept my way through cabinets at the back of the room. Old candy wrappers, several obscure alternative music CDs, a set of extremely expensive-looking microphones and headphones, an old notebook? I took it out and flipped through the first few pages. Inside were cartoons drawn in thick ink. Nokemon, a pink ball of fluff, anthropomorphized rocks. These aren't half bad. But nowhere did I see reference to the boots. Sighing, I reached to put the book back in the cabinet, but not before scribbling a small image of my face on one of the pages, because that's a smart thing to do. Leave evidence. Good job, Hana. They wouldn't suspect me. Why would I out myself by drawing my own face? All this sneaking around was getting to me. I was becoming a rebel, a bad seed. But there was nothing else I found that could possibly lead me to the boots. I closed the window and left the room, sighing with relief when I shut the door. The window might have been open, but that hadn't stopped the smell. How in the world those boys live like that? Now, knowing them, winning the fight was more important than being clean. I was a wonder they were all friends with how much they picked on each other, but then that was probably the point. So their lockers must have been right around there too. I stood on my tiptoes, peeking into the slats at the fronts of the lockers. I couldn't open them without Mai's help, but I could at least see what they had in them. But as I peered through them, I came up empty. Playmaster games, a hamster wheel, something called an Ian box, a Rulian shield. Their lockers were weird, but there was no sign of the boots. As I headed back to the door, my heart sank. It wasn't the Hidden Block Club. Really, that should make me happy. It should be good that they were true friends to the normal Boots guys. But they were my only lead, really. Now I was back to the very beginning, no better off than I was before. I climbed to my room with heavy steps. It was already 1 in the morning. I had no idea how so much time passed. I changed my pajamas and stumbled into bed. Great. How worthless was I? I stared at the book in front of me. I was supposed to be reading, following along with what Miss Shizuka was teaching. Instead, I yawned. The words blurred together in front of me, talking about how a badger made of honey once befriended the 13th cat of the zodiac. I had even harder time getting up this morning. I didn't think just a few days of less sleep would affect me so much, but they definitely did. I yawned again. Surely it wouldn't be I couldn't see a... Strange images swirled in front of me. The boots, the dent in the locker, Satch. Oh, Satch. I was looking at him in the library. This was back when I told him I was going to help him. He was in such a panic. But now that I was looking at it again, I remembered the librarian much more clearly. She was glaring at him so venomously I could feel the heat from where I stood. There was no way she would do anything wrong to him, right? Right? Something shoved into my back and I snapped awake. Feng shui! Say feng shui! Feng shui? Miss Shizuka, who was staring at me from the front of the class, put her hands on her hips. Yes, the answer is feng shui. And what is its purpose? If you place yellow objects at the front of your house, you get more money, and in red at the back of the room, people will give you stuff. Shizuka squinted at me. Well, not incorrect. You were talking about the traditional effects of feng shui now, Miss Mizuno, not the old country superstitions. Please pay better attention. Yes, ma'am. I sat back down and shot a grateful look at Mai. She nodded to me, face full of concern. I smiled at her and turned back around, hoping that would ease her mind, but as I looked at my book, I suddenly realized I had no idea what the lesson was even about. Poor Hana. Hana. Hana! What happened? I blinked at her. My eyes felt gooey and slow, like they were glued shut. Class is over. It's time for lunch. Already? But did I miss all morning? Mai nodded. I sat up and looked around the classroom. Only a few stragglers remained, jotting down final notes. Ugh. I'm sure you've been really stressed about everything that's happened, but it's not good to fall asleep in class. I know that. It's not like I'm trying to fall asleep. But still, this was not good. Asagao Academy was a prestigious school. People not only got in if they had high academics, lots of money, or were extremely talented in some way. I was none of those things. The scholarship student. I was the way that the school and other students felt better about themselves. If I dragged down the school's image, they'd kick me out without a second thought. I wasn't even sure how I made it in the first place. It's not your fault if you're having trouble sleeping. Come on, let's go to lunch and not worry about it, yeah? I nodded and stood, feeling somewhat like I was not part of this world. The walls blurred as we headed out of the classroom. Maybe if I touched one, I'd fall right through. When we opened the door, we also almost walked right into John and PBG. Whoa! Oh, God. Hey! We were just coming to get you guys. Wait, you're talking to us again? I glanced from the overly cheery John to PBG, who was avoiding eye contact with me. It had been 3 weeks since they last spoke to us. Maybe I was still asleep. As it was, my brain was moving too slow for me to say anything about it. So the thing is, we want to apologize.
What?
You do? We realized we were being total jerks. We feel terrible about it, or at least I do. Hey, it was an honest mistake. People make mistakes all the time. I stared at John's broad face, trying to click together what was happening. You ignored us for 3 weeks and you're saying it was an honest mistake? PBG elbowed John in the side and shot him a look.
No.
Ignore him. He sticks his foot in his mouth so much you'd think it was a lollipop. But we came to invite you to lunch with us again. If you'll still have us. We want to make it up to you somehow, and we missed you. Oh, both of you. Oh. Heh. So you're not suspicious anymore? Well, PBG elbowed him in the side again. Okay. Sorry, I just thought it'd be funny. No, we're not. We can't speak for the others, but you have our support. My head swam. The frustration of the past 3 weeks, the betrayal, the late nights, the tears, the whispers, the judgment, all built up inside of me. Did they want us to just forgive them and let it all go? Mai looked at me, waiting for my decision. It seemed she didn't know what to make of it either. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. It is a difficult situation to be in, but I'm still suspicious that Mai has something to do with it. I'm not convinced she doesn't, but I won't hold grudges against them. Look on the bright side of things. Try it again, see what happens. And shame on me once. What was it? Hurt me once, shame on me. Hurt me twice, shame on them, or whatever, however it says. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Really? Yeah. I blinked furiously, trying to clear my eyes of their tired gaze. I guess it never hurts to ask, does it? I guess not. Well, you heard the lady. Mai didn't seem overly comfortable with what was happening, but the decision was made, and she wasn't going to leave me now. I smiled and grabbed her hand, thankful. She grinned at me in return. As we walked to the cafeteria, PBG fell in step behind me. Hey, are you sure you're okay? I looked up at him in surprise. He was searching my face intently. What? Yes, I'm fine. We were such jerks to you guys. We don't deserve to be forgiven that easily. I laughed lightly, but it came out sounding more like a wheeze. It's no big deal. Life's too short to let things like this affect us for too long, right? I guess? Hana's been losing sleep over it. That's why she looks so dead right now. Excuse me! I'm just speaking the truth. I'm so sorry. PBG looked like a sick, sad puppy. That just means we have to work even harder to make it up to you. Right, PBG? He stood on his tiptoes and put an arm around PBG's neck, pulling his head down so it was level with John's. He put his lips to PBG's ear and whispered something into it for quite some time. When PBG was finally released, he seemed more calm. It was your decision to make. Yeah. Sure. We finally made it to the cafeteria. After getting our food, we headed for the normal boots table, walking in a straight line like foot soldiers. Satch was sitting at the table, too. It seemed he rejoined them since we weren't there to eat with this time. At least it didn't cause a rift. As we approached, Shane popped his head up. No. We didn't even say anything. I'm not eating with those people. You're overruled. That's not even a thing. Well, let's have a vote. Slowly, the clatter in the cafeteria turned to silence. Who thinks Hana and Mai should be allowed to rejoin the normal boots table? Raise your hand. Satch's hand shot in the air first. Yeah. I do, and it's about time, too. Gerard's next pause quickly followed. Right? That's 6 of 9. Sorry, Shane, but you've been outvoted. Shane glared at John, but said nothing. John sat at the table, jaw set and eyes blazing, as if daring someone to argue with him. PBG and Mai soon followed, but I stood frozen where I was. How was I supposed to just sit down and act like everything was normal? Mai grabbed my arm and pulled me to the seat next to her. I avoided Jared's, Shane's, and Josh's eyes. At least now I knew who definitely didn't trust me. I gritted my teeth. It wasn't enough that I had to endure 3 weeks of hell for them. It wasn't even enough that I had immediately forgiven them for that hell. They still didn't trust me. The club ate in silence, and I struggled to contain the spurts of anger and shame that were trading stages in my mind. So maybe it wasn't a good idea. Just saying, okay. When the bell finally rang to go back to class, I had never been more happy. After the excitement of the day, it didn't take long for Mai to fall asleep. I lay and listened to her steady breathing, resisting the urge to fall asleep myself. Finally, her gentle snoring began, and I put on some clothes and headed back outside. At this point, I was getting used to creeping around at night. It was horrifying the first time, and I had a few close calls, but I didn't think there was going to be someone jumping out from the corners and trying to kill me. The world wasn't as hostile as I thought it was. At least, Asagao wasn't. I dashed across the campus and into Poppy Hall. Only once I was inside did I realize I really didn't have a plan. There was nothing in the hidden block lockers, and the club room was empty when I last looked. Look in Shane's locker! Look in Shane's locker! I crept up to the 4th floor, hoping to begin an in-depth search from room to room. Someone had to have it nearby. They were too heavy to move during the day, and it would take at least 2 normal people to move them. With this in mind, I worked my way from classroom to classroom, closet to desk, searching in lockers and nooks and crannies. Try after try, I found nothing of interest, at least to the boots. There was an oddly large amount of stuffed animals in these kids' desks. As I searched the last desk on the 4th floor, I sighed. Still nothing. Slipping down to the 3rd floor, I braced myself to begin again, until I heard a noise from a closet at the end of the hall. Huh? It was coming from an old, unused closet just opposite the stairwell. Yellow light ringed the edges of the door. It's probably that creepy janitor scientist dude. Someone was in there, and they weren't there on my way up. There was no way it was a janitor either. The janitor threw up the lights on the entire floor when he was cleaning. Now this was someone else. I think it's the creepy dude. I edged across the hall, taking care not to let my steps echo on the wooden floor, as they were prone to do when no one else was in the hallway. Finally, I made it to the edge of the door. But who is it? We'll have to find out next time. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think of the series. And as always, I'm TC Robson. Stay obsessed.